We'll dive straight in. Your leap from a career in media and PR to the PR set. So investing in yourself, making that jump into entrepreneurship, what made you do it?
Oh, good question. So my career was very linear, as in I got a job when I left uni, I worked in PR, I had like a career plan. I worked my way up through the agency kind of hierarchy. And thought I loved it. I did love it when, whilst it was serving me. But very typical story, had my two boys. Husband's job was at the time incredibly inflexible, just something had to give. And do you know what? I remember going back to work after my first maternity leave, feeling really annoyed that I'd not come up with this idea. I knew that I wanted to do something else, and I tried a few things. I sold some breastfeeding scarf things, oh god, it was awful. I tried a few things, and I remember going back to work after my first maternity leave really cross that this thing hadn't happened, and I didn't have this really successful business like you saw people on Instagram from my maternity leave. And it basically, I had my second son, Jack, was still doing the agency world. My best friend had her own smaller boutique PR agency, and she got a pitch in to do something that was a bit more aligned with what I'd done previously. So she said, come and pitch it with me, and if we win it, we'll figure it out. And anyway, we won this massive piece of work. I still had a job. I was like, oh god, okay, so I've got to leave my kind of job. I knew I was probably going to do that anyway, because it didn't really work having my second. So I went and worked with her for a few years, and that opened my eyes to the fact that, she had this really successful PR agency. She was doing it in her own way. She was working with clients that she really loved working with. And it showed me that there was a kind of different way to do it than this kind of path that I was on and I was treading. And then basically we moved out of London, so I didn't want to be commuting, which sounds really old-fashioned, but I actually started a publication that a friend of a friend had launched up in the Northwest, in fact, very near you, and I brought it down to the Southeast, and that really opened my eyes to how wrong lots of PRs who are getting paid lots of money get pitching. So that started sow the seeds, and then we had lockdown, as we all remember. And I basically got a beauty pie delivery as a treat to myself. And I remember when it arrived, I was like, oh my God, this is it. This is how I can do PR, but in a way that works for me, in a way that allows me to work with the people that I love working with, because I kind of realized that it was the small businesses and the entrepreneurs and the innovators and the people doing things a bit differently that I absolutely loved working with. But I hadn't been able to work out a way to kind of make it work financially for everybody. And then the beauty pie delivery dropped, and I was like, oh, this is it. So that's kind of sowed the seeds for the PR set, basically. And I launched it nearly 5 years ago, with a view to making PR accessible to small business owners. So I've taken everything that I know and my skills, which are PR, they're not selling scarves, but I've turned it into something that works for me, but also allows me to work with the people that I absolutely love working with.